Hey everyone, so today I'm going to show you how to make the high-low surf perch rig that you saw me make on one of my prior videos. And truth be told, when I was looking at the final editing of the video, I realized that you couldn't quite tell what I was doing despite me trying to detail everything. So with that being said, I'm going to do a detailed step-by-step walkthrough of how I do that surf perch setup. So here's what you are going to need. 3-ounce pyramid weight, a clip for a snap swivel, effectively. You want one of these heavy duty style. A chain swivel. Number 1, number 2 size hook. You don't want the shank too long. And you also want to make sure you pinch your barb. This one hasn't been pinched yet, but I will when I do use this. And on top of that, you want to have that hook not too small, but not too big. I'll show you in a little more detail later on. Reason being is the small perch, if the hook is too small, will bite on and then you'll only catch little dinky things. But if the hook is a little bit bigger, the small perch can't bite on. But if it's too big, then surf perch won't be able to bite on it and then you're just gonna be wasting your time. A bobber stopper, that's an important detail. Corky, and a swivel with 20-pound monofilament line. So this is what you're going to need, and let's do this walkthrough. The first few steps are the easiest steps. We're going to take our clip, put that on the weight, and we're going to undo this. And we're going to put our chain swivel on. And we put the clip into place. Now, we take our 20-pound monofilament, and this is where things start to get down to business. You're going to take and go through once, go through twice, bring that down, and I take a little bit of moisture here from my soapy sponge here, and I'm going to start twirling it around. Next step, we're going to go through both loops and we're going to go up through here. Need some moisture to wet this. Now I'm going to start pulling down like that. And there's my knot. Nice and tight on there. Making sure that's nice and secure. Give that a tug. We're ready to go. A little bit of a tag, so we clip off, leaving just a little bit there. The next step, we're going to give ourselves some space here and move down a little bit. We're going to go make a big loop. See how we have this right here? Now, what we're going to do, I'm not really going to count, but we're going to make several wraps. So we have this guy right here, and we're going to wrap it around, loop and loop several times. So, let's show you again real fast. So take that. We're going to have about so from here to there, maybe a little bit more, and we're going to make several loops. Take a little bit of moisture from my sponge, And by the way, this is not just water. This is some water with some Dawn dish detergent in there. And that really does help lubricate the whole thing. And we're going to pull in on that. Make that nice and tight, essentially on both ends. And a very important step is pull from this end right here because it's going to move a little bit more. Just like that. Now, pull a little bit right there just to make sure. Now that is nice and secure. We're going to move down a little bit more, giving ourselves about that much. And we're going to do the same exact step. Giving about the same amount. I'm not doing this to an exact science, but close enough is close enough. We're wrapping these around again, same exact step. Like that. We're going to moisten that up. And we are going to cinch down. Nice and tight. Pull on both sides. And I'm going to give that tug right there so it cinches. And now we have both of these loops. Now, the next step that we do is we're going to take a look at the knot and we're going to clip one of the ends. Given that this knot is really strong, it doesn't matter which end we clip, but now we have all this. Now we're not going to be using this entire thing. Pause here for a second. It is really important that you don't, when you do put your hook on, have too much of a leader out on here. Reason being is these have a habit of wrapping around like this if you have too much leader, which will in turn cause your hook to be wrapped up in there and your bait to not be floating out there, and you won't be able to set the hook. All right, moving on. We're going to clip this one right here. Same story. Clip one of these off. Now we have two. We're going to move down now. Give ourselves a little bit extra. This is not going to be the entire length. This is just giving us a little extra. And now I'm going to clip this free from the spool. We are done with the spool. Now we have our raw setup. The next step, which is important, is you have to take this and pinch this down as good as you possibly can, because you want to have a little bit of an edge there. So it makes sense in a second. Now, we're going to take a little bit of soap, and we're going to put one of these bobber stoppers on. Now we have our bobber stopper there. We're going to moisten that. And we're going to feed our bobber stopper through. It's a little bit tricky. You're just going to have to tug. Sometimes you break it. There you go. See how that fed through? Boop. Just like that. We're going to clip off that. Move that on down. This will make sense in a second. We're going to take our corky right here, and we're going to put that through now. I'll put that way down here for just a little bit. Next step that we're going to do is we're going to put on our top swivel. Same exact knot. The reality is any good knot will hold, but you want a good knot because you don't want this to all come flying apart. Especially these weights, because these are not cheap. Well, they're not exactly inexpensive, so you don't want to just be throwing them away. I mean, would you throw away just $2 on a whim? No. Anyways, so now we're going to do the same thing. We're going to do our wraps around. Do the loop through. Moisten our fingers a little bit and that. And we're going to tighten that up. And we cinch that down nice. We're going to clip off our tag end, even just a little extra. And here's the beauty part. You take your bobber stopper and you pull it all the way up there. Now your corky is being held up here. Our next step is putting our hook on. This part actually requires a little bit of attention to detail. Reason being, as I pointed out earlier, you don't want to have too much on here because it'll wrap around. So you want to look at effectively, where is this hanging? So it looks like it's effectively hanging right about here. So this looks like probably close to your sweep mark. So we're going to put our hook on, feed that through. Oops. And about the same amount. And I typically pull in just a little bit because when I tighten this knot down, it tends to have a little bit extra. Same knot. As I said, you could use other knots. This is the knot that I use because I know it is extremely strong. Put that through. Several wraps. Both loops, 1 and 2, and we're going to pull in the excess. See how I said it has a habit of going out a little bit? That's why I drew it in so much. Now we're going to clip off that extra tag end. Oops, there we go. And sometimes it helps to just straighten that out a little bit. So inspecting my knot, making sure it's good. It is. Okay, and just pull on that, make sure that's nice and straight. Now this one is a little on the long side. I'm a little concerned, but it should be okay. If not, I can always trim it off and make it shorter. Next step, do the same exact thing. I'm going to try going a little shorter here because that one is a little too long, but for the principle of this video, bring that up, loop that on through. Wraps. through, and through. And we're going to pull down, being careful not to hook our fingers. Alrighty. That's nice and tight on there. Make sure to just put a little bit of heat to get that. Heat being friction. There we go. I could tell that knot needed to be yanked a little bit harder. There we go. Okay. Now we're going to take that tag end, remove the tag end. And there is our high-low knot. That's not coming off. You take a good pull. That's not coming off. And that's not coming off. And there we go. As you can see right here, perfectly good right there. Stays right up nice in the water column. Corky helps it float a little bit, helps counteract. And I hope you all catch a ton of fish and it makes your day. And I hope this video helps you. Up. Is we're going to give ourselves some space here.
I don't know that one.
I didn't ask you, Alexa.